Episode 109, and Wade's at the wheel.
The Ultimate Deck Podcast. Need a show about outdoor living? This is where it's at. With your hosts, Shane Chapman and Wade Laurent. Thank you for tuning in. Now let the show begin. Yeah. The Ultimate Deck Podcast. Let's go.
Okay, here we are. That's the second time in my life that I've done this.
Second?
I've opened the show by myself. I don't believe that I do this very often. Shane's usually runs that half of
It's usually Shane.
Yeah. So I feel like I executed that fine.
I think you did fine.
It's not the most exciting intro.
Special. Didn't have to be. It's 109. It's not like we're episode 100 or anything.
Here, you can have this one. It's right before Christmas. Nobody's actually paying attention.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like, you can have this one. Thanks, buddy.
Yeah, it's like what, 4-5 days till Christmas?
Yeah, that's right away. Are you done your shopping?
Yes, I was done last week.
Cool.
Yeah. It's going to be...
humble brag, hey?
Yeah, I mean, I finished early.
I'll leave that one alone.
Yeah, what about you? Are you done?
I would say that I am half done.
Half done.
Yeah. I have some stuff to purchase today, and then I'm waiting for some stuff to show up.
That's dangerous.
Yeah, I didn't shop local.
Amazon, they deliver.
I did a little
locally.
bit of like shop local, like a small amount, but some you had to go to the giant conglomerations. So is what it is.
It is what it is.
Okay.
I didn't come up with any worldly news today because we don't have Shane here, so I wasn't like
he's the tipping point
I don't
for
know.
worldly news.
I don't know. We kind of discussed last week that it was kind of running a little long,
Sure.
that segment. So
Okay, so we can get right into it.
we could just get right into it.
Let's touch on the worldly news just briefly, because
You got something?
would this be anything without talking about COVID? This wouldn't be a show, right?
Right.
The vaccine's out.
Vaccine's out.
Did you see the nurse that took the vaccine and fainted?
No.
Yeah. So they gave her the shot, and then she was doing an interview minutes after having the shot. And she was telling everybody how it was going, and then she started to face plant, and then somebody caught her, and then they laid her down. They're like, "Oh, it happens all the time." It's like,
Well, yeah.
I don't know that happens all the time.
I heard that because of that, it's so cold. They have to store it at minus 10 or 20, right?
So when
It has to ship, right? So it has to be stored cold the whole time.
Okay.
So when it goes into your body, it's cold.
Okay.
And that temperature change can really
Mess some people up.
destroy your blood pressure.
Yeah. Anyways, are you gonna get it? You gonna get the shot?
If it means I could go places, yes.
That's
no,
kind of-
100%.
That's kind of me too, right? I'm probably not gonna run out and line up. I'm not
Yeah.
an anti-vaxxer.
I'm not an anti-vaxxer.
I'll get the shot if I have to get the shot. I don't typically get the flu shot.
Mm-hmm.
And so I don't think I'll just voluntarily get this one either. Unless it's like, you can't go to Hawaii.
Exactly.
Oh, yep. Sign me up.
Yeah, sign me. I'll take 3.
I'll take 3 because I plan on going a few times. So, okay. So today we're going to interview Jason Varney, buddy from 4 years ago. I met him at a trade show. Shane and I met him. And we've had plenty of chin wag. And so I've often told him that I'd like to get him on the show. And this seems like a really good day. Do we have any questions? Westrom's chirping me about being late. That's just how I am. That's how it goes.
I mean, this is earlier than we usually, for on time.
Right.
When you're like, hey, 8:30, usually we don't start till 9:30.
9:30.
So
Almost an hour behind.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
Call him up.
Let's phone a friend.
Let's phone a friend. Not Shane. Regis Philbin.
Call
I mean, you kind of look like Regis.
this guy right here.
You shaved off your beard.
And if I turn this up, do you hear it ringing? It just says dialing right now.
There we go.
Bingo.
Hello.
Good day. How are you?
Good. How are you doing, man?
I'm good. So this is Wade from the Ultimate Deck Show. Deck Shop podcast. I'm just calling to see how you're doing.
I'm doing wonderful.
Yeah, good. Okay, so on the line, Jason Varney. I put some questions up on Instagram. Jason, it turns out you don't have any friends that have questions. They already know everything about you. So we'll try and follow along and see if anybody has anything to ask. If it gets really late, maybe what you'll want to do is get your wife to throw a question in there or something. So just so it's not a blank all day, right?
Yeah.
Let's see if I can find the list.
That'd be fine.
I sent you a list
You should give him an intro first.
Oh yeah.
You know, like
I'm
like a
awful at
real
this
show.
stuff, right? I'm awful at this. Okay, so Jason Varney, you're from Knoxville, Tennessee. You own a company called Dock and Deck. Is that correct?
Yeah,
Dock and Deck.
that is correct.
You have a show on the DIY network called Docked Out, and you build some of the sickest docks
Correct.
in the industry.
That would be correct.
You have a family. Do you want to tell us about the family?
Yeah, I have two sons, Hunter and Taylor, both work in the business.
Okay.
Wife, Jennifer. And just to let you know, Taylor, I'm actually just showed up at the hotel. He is getting married today.
Okay. He's getting married today. Yeah. So squeeze this in. We'll.
He's literally, we are. Yeah, it is today. He is getting married today.
Wow.
That's fantastic. Good. Okay.
Yeah,
So
4 o'clock, as a matter of fact.
4 o'clock. So we have some time then. We have at least half an hour, 45 minutes that we can get through this. So.
Yeah.
Do you want to dive right in? Do you want to just chat about some stuff? You want to talk COVID? Have you talked about COVID today with anybody?
I have not. But I'll be glad to talk about whatever you'd like to talk about. I'm down for whatever. So.
Okay. So let's just start into a couple of the questions and then we'll spiral out of there. How did your 2020 go, Jason, on the year?
I'll be honest with you, 2020 has been the best business year that we've had ever. I would not say that. I would not say it's the same with work and how much enjoyment we've had. But as in 2020 has been a year that has been higher numbers, bigger sales, better projects than we've ever seen before. And I don't really know the reasoning for that. I can't really relate it to one personal thing, but I will say that that's where it's been financially and as a business. It's been great. As working with employees and families and everything else, it's obviously been one of the worst just due to the change. You know, anytime you have change in life, the change in business or whatever it may be, it's hard to sometimes cope and you have to adapt. So that's been the biggest struggle. Obviously, we all know materials have been hard to get, all those types of issues. So it's made a little bit more of a struggle, even though I think when we all sit back at the end of the year, I think bottom line, our numbers will far surpass anything we've ever done.
Yeah, that's crazy. So we've sort of seen the same thing here. I would say that the business, the actual selling of product was really strong. Certainly we ran short on material as well. We had some lumber struggles and we had some composite struggles and some aluminum railing struggles. And if we could have had more product, we likely would have sold more product. But what we did have, we were able to move through. Some of the struggles, you're right, with employees, you're constantly juggling. If somebody had a cough or if somebody sneezed or they didn't look perfect, it was like, okay, well, everybody goes home and we have to be super cautious. So you're running on limited staff, it seemed. And so those are certainly struggles. I think Shane and I have talked about this quite a few times. And one of the things that we attributed that all the extra spending to is that people weren't traveling. So they weren't going anywhere, right? You can't get on a plane and go on a holiday. So why not invest it in your yard? Or
correct. I think they just wanted to invest in their home.
Yeah. Because people are like awful at saving, right? like just generally people don't like to save money. So
Yes.
I was like, I'll build a new dock. I'll build a new, sunroom or whatever. So good. Did you buy a new gun this year?
I did.
Yeah.
I buy quite a few of them. I love them. So I bought I don't know how it'll be taken by the crowd of people in general, but yeah, I like most any gun. I bought a new over-under shotgun and also another AR-15. So
awesome.
I'm happy to have some more of those.
Those ones are a lot of fun. What type of shotgun? That over-under? What brand is it?
I bought a Beretta.
They're so nice, right? So I also love guns. That's why I asked you that question. Yeah. It's like they're every once in a while I'll text you a picture and see this thing? Look at this. And then here's a deer. Look at that thing.
I love seeing pictures of guns.
Yeah, exactly. So anyways, I don't know how it'll be received by the crowd.
Yeah,
but I know
either that or a big animal you took down.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. There's a few guys on that follow us that certainly like the guns as well. So some that don't, but that's all right. This isn't their podcast. So.
Today it's yours.
Today it's mine. And Jason's, yeah, we like guns, so we'll talk about them. That's what it is. What else? We have, are you doing anything fun today? I had built that in. That was sort of a loaded question. I knew that you did plan on doing some fun stuff today. So
yeah, actually today is going to be a great day. So there's quite a bit of fun planned. As most people know, it's people in the industry, whenever I'm at shows or anything like that, I typically have my sons, both of them work for me. My oldest son is getting married today at 4:00, Taylor. So it's actually his wedding day and his rehearsal dinner and stuff last night. And I'm getting ready to go have breakfast with the singer that is doing his wedding, and we're going to go kind of have breakfast and then come back, change, and get ready because we're going to go to the rehearsal. To the ceremony and all that, and then after reception. So it's going to be a long night for Jason. He probably has a few drinks too.
Yeah,
so make a nice day.
When we were talking yesterday, and I said, "Yeah, we'll do this tomorrow. What time?" And you're like, "I don't know. Let's do it in the morning." And then you told me that it was the reception and stuff last night. I was like, "Well, maybe he'll be a little groggy tomorrow morning." But you sound like you're doing okay. So
yeah. Doing great, man.
Good.
Today's a good day.
Good. So I also wanted to know, what do you anticipate for 2021? What are you getting a sense of for the industry? How's that going to go?
Well, as much as I'd like to be half glass, half full type of mentality and everything else, and I think it's going to be another year that we'll continue to do great and good just in the industry. I think 2021 was 2020 was just a precursor to what 2021 is going to be. We've already got the delays. We've already got everything else. We see COVID spiking at unprecedented levels right now. It's worse today than it was when all this started and caused us all the problems back in, early February, March, April, those time frames.
Right.
Well, on top of that, we have in the States, a whole new president coming into office, which is going to make a lot of changes and has already talked about a nationwide shutdown and stuff like that to try to curb the pandemic and get it under control. Unless this new vaccine is just a miracle drug, I think we'll probably see some more shutdowns. With more shutdowns mean more delays, more problems in the industry, and I don't think we're going to flip a switch and New Year's ball drops at 12:00 on December 31, and then all of a sudden all of our COVID problems and all the worries go away. I think that's going to continue just to stay on pace and keep playing its role in our industry. So I look forward to 2021. I'm glad to get 2020 behind us. See if we can get better and do some stuff, but I think that what we've done this year is probably going to be pretty much par of the course of what we're going to have next year going into it, maybe even some more, because there's going to be if there's any kind of shutdowns, there's going to be delays. And you guys have keyed on it on quite a few of your talks and everything else. The industry itself is already behind. We've been playing, can we get product? Can we do this? Can we do that? It's not speeding up or catching up. So we still continue to see a lot of those issues. And, hopefully that things will get back on pace at some point. But I see 2021 probably as a extension to the 2020 type of lifestyle that we've seen.
Okay. Yeah.
How about you guys? Have you guys seen that in your business?
So I guess we have been told by all of our suppliers that they are well aware of their shortfalls in 2020, and they're working feverishly to not have that happen again. And so I know that we've had conversations.
But I hear that as well. But my question.
Yeah, go ahead.
Good. But what I was going to ask is I've heard that as well from the suppliers and everything else. And working feverishly is a great answer for the supplier to tell all of us as builders. But my question is this. I have also seen the delays and seen the large amount of extra work and everything else. And we're working feverishly, as they would say, to complete them.
Yeah.
But when we lost 3 months, we'll never catch that 3 months back up. So unless they say we're working feverishly 24/7, 365, they might catch back up or get back on par. But what I've heard is we're working feverishly. Have they added more plant lines to the decking runs? Have they up production? Have they hired, double the staff? What has happened to see that will correct it? Working feverishly. I mean, there's only so many dishes a dishwasher will wash.
Yeah,
you can pack it completely full, but when you have a party of 2,000 and you've got to wash those dishes, it can work feverishly. It's still not going to catch up and get done.
That's right. Yeah. So up here is a little bit different because we have an obvious off season in the Great White North.
Mm-hmm.
And so we shut down for a while. So our suppliers are able to sort of restock the coffers through winter. Right. But with you guys, your season will just continue, right? You just continue to work. And so we have heard that it is hard right now to get the coffers restocked because the demand is still really high. There's no slowdown yet. So it's interesting.
Yeah, and that's where I think that's where I see the problem relating or coming from, and that is that we've seen in the past where you guys up north and you actually have only a short season. So you have a season that runs through the summer and boom, here comes winter. Yep. It basically shuts you guys down. Well, take the south part of the United States, anything south of about Tennessee down is warm all winter. It's not going to have, we can build year round. There's no problems about it. We'll have a nice, Christmas may be here and we'll see 30 degrees or 20 degree day. Yep. Or even a week. In the next week, sun will pop out and we'll see 65.
Right.
So it's not uncommon you can still keep this pace up. So right now, when the decking industry has got behind 3 months behind in product or whatever it may be, there's no stop now. So we keep selling jobs. We have sold more jobs just recently than we've ever sold. And I don't understand what the reasoning for that is. I really can't. I cannot figure out why we're selling jobs right now in comparison to most. I attribute it to once again, I think we've done better in our business and our selling model and everything else. But at the same time, I do see the amount of work still staying up. So if that happens and they're already behind, they're just stocking, they're just fulfilling orders that are in the past, but we're still putting them on them more and more and more.
Yeah.
And as we're building even more sales, and I don't know if that's a nationwide thing or just maybe we're lucky enough to have that happening right now for us. But if everybody is selling at record paces right now, they better be at record paces to keep up, or it's going to continue to get further and further behind.
Yeah, it sounds like
I look at the decking industry like right now, it's like our national debt. It's just something that we're just going to have to accept that we're always going to be behind.
Yeah, maybe, right? So, I know that a couple of the companies are talking about putting new plants online, right? Trex is opening a new plant, and they're hoping that will catch them up. And so, so let's talk about how you ended up on the DIY network. How'd that pan out?
So, interesting story. You know, they just one day I got a phone call out of the blue that said, "Hey, this person answered. I answered the phone. Hello, and hey, we're so and so, and we want to do a television show on you." And I said, "Man, whoever's trying to play this trick's not going to get me. You know, it's not going to happen."
Yeah, so I'm not biting. This isn't happening.
I'm like, I'm not biting. I'm not going to look like the fool that got bumped on TV or whatever on this one. So I said, I'm not interested. If you're real, I don't have time to waste with you, whoever it is on the phone. And they said, well, no, we're real. And I said, well, if you're real, I said, we have FaceTime, we have Skype, we have everything. Set up a video call. They said, would 5 o'clock this afternoon work? And I said, well, I guess let's do this. 5 o'clock, I got in the office and had my sons there with me and stuff like that. And here comes a call, and it was a whole bunch of people sitting at a big, huge conference table, in an area that if they were punking me, they spent a lot of cash doing this one, setting this one up.
Yeah.
So we talked about it, and it was just one of those things that it just didn't feel right for some reason, and I kind of passed it up. And I guess they continued to search that out and had a local company. Discovery Channel is located in Knoxville, Tennessee, headquartered here. Oh. So they had a local production company, reach out to me, and they called a production company and said, "Hey, we're trying to get this guy to do a show.
Yeah.
And would you reach out to him?" And he said, "Who is it?" Well, just so happened I went to high school with this guy. And one thing leads the next. He calls me. He said, "I've got a cell phone number." So he called me and told me, and I was like, "Nah, man, I've already heard that story. I don't think I'm game." And he was like, "This is a big deal for you. You might want to take and consider it." So he said, "Let me take you to lunch and just talk about it and whatever." So they did. One thing leads to the next. He says, "We're not going to be in the way. We'll put something together and then show it to you." So they came out and started filming for about the next 2 weeks. And they just said, "Here's the things. Just do what you're going to do, act your way you're going to act, do whatever you're going to do, and just don't look at the drones that fly around." So,
okay.
And that's kind of how it worked out. They were there for a couple of weeks, and they called me and they said, "Hey, can you come out to our offices, our production studio?" So I walked out there, and I went out there, and they had put together this sizzle reel that kind of showed me doing what we do in the field and my guys and everybody else. And I was like, man, this is really great. Never seen that side of it,
Yeah, because
people who are not in that role or you're in it. I mean, it's kind of like I don't know, I could tell a person how great it is I think you take advantage of a lot of. You don't take advantage of it. I don't think you take it to heart like a lot of things. Like it's kind of like raising a family and getting married and going through that. You live it every day, so you don't really see all the things. But if somebody filmed it from the outside in, and you notice that your kid was actually studying when you weren't really on him, or you see your wife taking care of the house and doing this, and the things that you really wouldn't normally pay attention to because you're over here chopping wood or whatever it is that you're doing, right?
Yeah, that's right.
You miss all those other things, but when they film it and they put it all together, you really get to see a side of your business and stuff that's very interesting, and how other people really step up and take on roles, and how it just and the end result, what you build, how it comes to, and then also what it does to impact other people's lives. And that's the biggest thing. I mean, these projects, we can all talk about decking and this and that, and how it's this great industry or whatever. But at the bottom line, what we do is we build things for people that make their lives much better.
Yeah, that's right. We build. And, I always tell everybody we build leisure.
What's great about it is you build leisure, but you build a lifestyle. That's what you're doing. You're building. When you talk about it, or you see all your friends posting pictures on social media contacts and stuff, how many of them do you really see posting a picture of them sitting on their couch?
They're
out by a fire pit. They're
Shane
out on the lake.
Pictures of himself on the couch all the time.
Well, Shane's a unique dude, and that's the only way to post that. Shane definitely, if he was a bird, and we were talking about he was a species of bird, he's an emu.
Oh yeah,
he's the weird one.
Yeah, I actually think I have a video of him.
He's got his head in the thing, right?
Yeah. And he's not here to defend himself. So
He isn't even.
Yeah, so
I'm gonna have to make sure we'll from here on out we'll call Shane
Emu. I think that's fantastic, that story. I like the idea that you were just doing your thing and you were doing it well, right? And then somebody shows up and taps you on the shoulder and you're like, no, listen, I'm really not interested in the TV lifestyle. I just want to do what I do because I love what I do. I'm not trying to be famous. I'm trying to build this guy's dock. So if you could just get out of my way. Yeah, well, what if we recorded it from above?
And I think
that would be fine as long as nobody's in my way.
Mm-hmm.
And so, and then being able to.
And I think that's the one thing that I would. I think that's the one thing that I would tell everybody. And I see the social media pages, and I see the dire want to get out there and do it. I will say this: television is a completely different dynamic. Remember, we get to build for ourselves right now. That's what we do. Most of us all build a business, and that business is to work for ourselves and how we want to and everything else. When you start doing a television show, you are working for the production company and your customer, and they say, hey, Jason, you need to be on set at 9 o'clock tomorrow. Well, I'll tell you right now, I don't have to be on set tomorrow at any time.
Yeah.
Normally, if you're just building, there's we can come, we can go, we can do what we want to, and we do it.
I'll decide what time I show up. When they're like, not anymore, you're not.
Exactly. And then also, regardless of how you're looked at, and I see this all the time, and I mean, there's so many guys in the industry that I just so much look up to and what they build and how they build it. I was looking yesterday at New Deck Special Magazine, and it had Mark King on it and some pictures of the decks he builds. And I mean, the guys, what he builds is amazing. And when I get to meet him at a show, or Jason Russell, Dr. Dex, his stuff, Bobby Parks, these are guys, Dex South. I mean, John Lee. When I look at their projects, I see what they're building. I'm so impressed by it and just taken back by it. But what I also notice is these guys like this that are building amazing projects. Yep. And they're kind of recognized for building amazing projects or what they do in the industry. You see these just things, and literally, I mean, when we go out, when we talk, when anybody does any of this stuff, they see these people and they say, like, man, I know exactly what he built. He built that huge monstrous one, or that over the top this or that, or he just knows a lot. It's not a lot of the time about the size. What was great about about television, when I says I didn't seek it out, it sought me out, and I'm very thankful for television and what it's done for a business and what it's done for me personally. But at the same time, you just see a lot of the guys starting out. It's all that they can do. It's like that everything's tagged to these networks and this and that. Keep building good stuff.
Yeah.
Keep putting good content out there. Keep showing what you can do. Lead in the industry, and if it's meant to be, it'll come after you.
Yeah,
it will.
Right. Yeah.
You'll be found, you'll be recognized, and you'll be seen.
A slight segue into the No Nadra event this year, right? Which is unfortunate. It's the reality of our world now, I guess. But I always look forward to those shows for the exact same reason you just talked about. For meeting you and Mark King and Jason and Bobby Parks, and like these guys are all of them, yourself included, are like everybody in the industry knows who you are, and we can walk up and just chat. Because we're all just a bunch of guys that are building some decks. Really, that's all. I sell some boards. I don't even build anymore.
And it's also so correct. And when you get to go to these events, and I talked to Heather with Nadra, and had a little talk with her the other day about the events and it not happening and the award ceremony not taking place and all that. And what I noticed is it's kind of it doesn't have the same flair. It doesn't have the same feel for a lot of us guys, because I told them, like, when we have a job or we're selling a job, it doesn't mean that we know that it's going to be like that type of job. We're going to enter it into a contest of that size or that nature.
Yep.
My guys are excited to build it.
Absolutely.
We're excited to sell it. Our customers excited to know how it's going to how it's going to place up against some of the biggest projects in the country. And when we go out to build these projects, you know, Taylor's selling a job, Hunter's designing this job. He's like, that is going to be off the chart. It's going to be one of the best decks we've ever done, or best docks that we've ever done if we can get this job this way. Well, we end up selling it. The whole entire time we're building it with the intent that it's going to take down an award. It's that type of project.
Yep.
And then our customers too are expecting it. So when it doesn't fall into like you can actually go to an award ceremony and see it, I think that like I said that to her, I really do appreciate the awards, and we've been blessed to have all the awards that we have won in the past. But at the same time, I think that, you know, part of the best part of the awards ceremonies and stuff like that is the camaraderie between all the guys and not only guys, but girls in the industry that we get to meet up with and share that, you know, look what we've done. Look at what we brought to the table this year. And
Correct.
Realistically, the competition's stiff because of what the projects are people are doing just to be winning those types of categories.
That's right. So, yeah. And so this year you didn't have any of those like you knew that you weren't entering anything into the awards. You would have known that in March that we weren't doing that. So did you find it harder to inspire the guys, if you will, to build some big projects, or?
Well, I don't think it's hard to inspire them. They're very passionate about building too. And, you know, and I think that's one thing that all of us, you know, we just know I said it, and a lot of times it gets taken back by when we say things like that. The John Lee at Deck South, or myself, or Mark King, or whatever. Yeah. We're known as that person who is the head of that company.
Yep.
But the guys and the staff that we have an amazing staff behind us. And you know this firsthand because you guys have projects that you've built in the past and done like this. It's not you that builds it. It's a full group of guys that really build that project. And we have to truly give credit to all the people that are in there really swinging the hammers and putting on the screws, you know, with the impacts and stuff, because when it comes down to it, those are the guys who actually build it. I think we have a lot of the vision of what this project's going to look like and what it takes. And sometimes we get to carry the stress, but what we do is we build things all together, and makes a big difference.
Yep. So do you have any projects in the past that you want to talk about? Any, like, do you have one that you just love? It was won an award, or it was extra challenging, that, you know, there was one that was really tricky build and you pulled it off and it worked out better than you thought it was going to?
I mean, we built an amazing project that was a timber frame dock that won a whole bunch of awards, won national awards all over. That was a great one. Anytime we have a person that we're lucky enough to have, you know, the three key components that most people just pray to have. Our clientele is waterfront people, so they have the budget typically, right?
Yep.
Then you're looking for not only the budget, but you're also looking for the spot. Is this thing sit on some point with this huge panoramic view?
Yep.
What's it have? And then the next thing is the customer has to also want to load it out, make it the baddest. Just not just put this typical 16 by 24 deck out there in the water. You know what I'm saying?
Yes. Yep.
They need to really throw the features to it. So when we see those projects like that, we're just over the top, and we've been able to build some amazing projects because of all three of those factors came into play, and we got to do a lot.
I'm sitting here across the table, and Bryce he's obviously flipping through some of your pictures and putting them up on the Instagram Live for people to look at. And he's shaking his head just like, look at this. And he builds this. It just goes on the water like that.
Yeah. This timber frame dock is nuts.
Oh, it's nuts. And you know, what a lot of people don't understand is when you're building that on land, you know what's underneath you. And if you run into something you start digging for a timber frame and you hit rock, you know what your situation is. So how would you like to be throwing pilings down in the water, trying to hope that you don't hit rock? And then how do you combat or fix that problem once we're there? And I mean, you know, everybody hears on this show has probably built a deck in their time, and you understand squaring something up. Square something up out in the water. I mean, you know, there's no walk over to that corner and put a nice corner on it.
Oh man.
Yeah. So do you do a lot of work off of boats, or do you kind of build from the shore out?
Oh, we work off boats. The majority, almost everything we do is on a boat. So we do work from the shore out, but remember, the shore, as it drops off into deeper water, we're out in the water working.
Yeah. That would be so interesting. Yeah. Someday I will end up down in Tennessee, and I'll see how this all goes. Are you working on your own house right now? You building a new
I would
house for yourself?
definitely love. We are. We're building a brand new house right now. House is right on the water. I think, just lucky as I can be to have this house and be on the water front finally. Everybody's always asking me, "Hey, Jason, what's your dock look like?" Well, we're not lucky enough to have a dock, because so now we are lucky enough to have a dock and lucky enough to be in a situation where I can build my own dock in my own place, and it's really, really, really come on. And this project's going to be amazing, just to say the least. I'm really, really lucky to get to build this project.
Good. I think I've seen a couple pictures, and it looks good. So.
Well, I think that we did on this project. Me, my wife, and everything else, we decided to sell our old house and kind of build what we wanted. Now the children are growing up and on their own and moving out and stuff. And it was supposed to be
it's like, now that you're finally gone, we're going to build a nice place. Here we go. And the kids are like, "Dad, this is not fair. Yeah. The whole time I was here, we had to live in this like shoebox." And it's like, "Yeah, well, you're expensive. Now you're gone." So,
well, and then we do something like this that's just kind of super elaborate and everything else. And I can't wait to share it with everybody. I thought, and I'll probably post some pictures this week of it. It's really coming along, and hope to be in by February sometime and build, finish up everything. But it's got a amazing waterfront dock and boardwalk and everything else. And then it's got a huge pool that we're doing. We stepped off into that realm too. We got in the pool business this year.
Good for you.
Had so many people that wanted to build pools that we decided to start doing pools as well. So Taylor took on a division of company and opened up the pool division of it. So we're going to see a whole lot of new things that our company's also changing, doing some more stuff. So can't wait to share it with you guys.
Maybe that's why your year was so busy. You added a whole new division to it.
Well, that's true. We did add that division. We, on top of adding that division, we just really saw a bunch more stuff. So with new projects, everything else.
Yeah. You got the boys in the room there?
No, I would just now walk down. I'm in the hotel lobby. I'm getting ready to go eat and go meet some people for breakfast with everybody.
Gotcha.
So, I do have Hunter with me. Taylor, I went up to his room and he was going to rest up for the wedding. So.
Out too late last night.
If you had,
that's right.
If you had the ability,
I think we've had a few of those days.
Yeah,
me, you, and Shane, right?
Yeah,
up on the rooftop bars.
I remember. I remember a night with you and Butch from Trex when I had a headache the next day for sure.
Yeah,
you and myself and Butch were talking about fishing the flats, so it was good.
Yeah, there's been quite a few headache mornings with me and Butch and a few others, right?
Yeah, that's right. So, so I'll ask you one last question because you have stuff to do, obviously. If you could do one thing over again in business or personal life, what is the one thing you would do differently?
I mean, if I had to do one thing over again, it would probably relate to business and personal. And what I would say is that would be, I probably would take more in, and listen to and be more avid with the people in the industry. Sometimes you just get so caught up on moving forward, that you don't take time to look around you and see what others are doing or take it in. You treat that as competition and kind of like, I don't want to do anything because of him.
Yep.
But if like we talked earlier, when you listen to Bobby or when you look at Mark's or Jason's work or Deck South, I've been able to now become friends and talk to those guys and look at their stuff more in depth. And it has bettered what we do. That's the thing I think that I would do to change. When back to it, if you look at where I am at today and stuff, man, we're blessed to have what we have, and we're really lucky that we have the company, we have the lifestyle that we've come accustomed to by working hard at it. But at the same time, I think taking a little bit of time, spending more time with the people within the industry, getting to be more of and sharing the craft. I'd like to share more of what we do with others, and we've really been trying to do that with the younger kids and stuff around. Get some people involved with it that really, really, really want to take it and run. Yeah. So those are the things I would probably tell you that I would try to do more than anything.
I think that's one of my favorite parts about the Instagram community that we have, and that all of the deck builders and contractors have fostered over the last, say, 5 to 10 years, is everybody seems to be a lot more willing to share and actually bring everybody else up, right? And I think that's incredible. It doesn't happen in every industry, so I like it.
And I think that's the main thing too. I think, as we're talking about Instagram, we're talking about the social media aspect. What I think a lot of people, and I see a lot of the comments on Instagram and social media pages in general, and it's like, there's a lot of sometimes people have a lot of hate towards people because they have a lot of followers or whatever it may be.
Sure.
A lot of those things don't really matter. Let's just call it what it is. It doesn't matter if you have 100,000 followers or 10 followers. What happens is if you have a lot of people, you have 10 followers, but tons of people go out and look at your projects every day. And that goes back to it. I think what I would try to tell a person is, sometimes followers just come because of awards or come because of TV shows or come because of this or some come because people buy followers, But at the same time, here's the thing at the end. I think that regardless, I go out and look at everybody's work. People think, oh, he doesn't look at that. Oh, I do. I mean, we're out there looking all the time at what other people are building, what other people are doing. And, especially like this whole TikTok rage right now. And I love that, by the way. I think I'm halfway addicted to it. But I love watching the video. I love watching the videos on it, man. And correct. Yeah, we should do something like that and see who in the industry does the best. But
who's got the best
what I will say though is I know a lot of people on this might fall like R&R Buildings. He is a big builder in the Midwest, and he does a ton of instructional videos on there. Most everybody's seen the concrete sonotube where he's shaking the bracket down into the concrete.
Yep.
That thing had I was seeing it went viral with hundreds of thousands of views.
Yes.
Well, he's been doing a lot of just small instructional videos. He has a ton of followers, but also a lot of other people are doing those kind of things, and a lot of views come from it, and a lot of people watch it. And anytime people start finding interest in shaking a bracket into a concrete sonotube, right?
Yep.
It means that something's cool in that about it, and if we can draw 2 kids into the industry because of something like that, job's done, man.
Yeah, so I think that's it's
good stuff.
I think that's the next big role for us, is to try and find, for us to bring the next generation up. I think that's our responsibility as this generation, where we are in the industry right now. I think it's really important for us to try and start to bring some people into it as well, because the trades are always going to be around, and people, there's definitely no shortage of people trying to get their kids to be doctors and lawyers and go to university. But the blue collar industry is it builds the foundation for everything. So, hopefully we can do that. So. Okay, I don't have.
But no, that sounds great.
Yeah, go ahead. Bit of a delay. I don't have anything else.
All
Do
the
you
people that are
have
on here.
any
Wish
questions?
everybody a Merry Christmas, and I hope everybody's having a prosperous year this year, and hope for the best with prosperous year next year, and everybody stays healthy.
Yeah.
And does not have any issues come with COVID or have any family members directly impacted or affected by it. So,
Yeah.
best wishes from Dock Deck crew and my family
Awesome. Yeah. Same to you.
everybody within the industry. So,
Hopefully you guys have a great holiday season as well. And then in the new year, when the planes open up, I'm on my way. My birthday's in February. So when you get moved in, let me know.
Okay.
I'll show up. We'll have a cake.
come on, I got a room especially for you.
Yeah, good.
All right,
It's in the
man.
basement. It's really
Enjoy
dark.
it.
Awesome. Thanks, Jason. I appreciate
right.
your time so much. So
Hey, take care.
talk to you later. Bye.
All right, thank you very much for having me. All right, bye-bye.
All right, that's it.
That's Jason Varney.
Mr. Varney. He's like, I really like him. When we go down to the shows, I like to be able to find him as soon as I can get there. And it's really easy to find him.
Mm-hmm.
Because what you can't tell from those pictures is that he's probably like 6'6", 6'7", and he's like 300, 325. He is a monster
big guy.
of a man.
Yeah.
So he's just taller than everybody when you show up at the shows. It's like, oh, there he is. He's over there. So anyways, beauty. Shane commented in the first half of the live before it dropped off that he was like, yeah, if you see Jason, can I run up and give him a hug? And I think he's the kind of guy you could actually do that with. Right?
Yeah. No, he seems like a really interesting guy. It'd be sweet to get him live on the interview, I think.
It's so good when you know, like I said, I stood around in a room with him and Butch one time. Butch works with Trex.
Yeah.
And it was so good to visit with those guys in their element. And they were just telling, like we were drinking old fashions and we were talking about fishing.
Yeah.
Right? And they both love it. And so they were talking about fishing in Florida. And anyways,
yeah. So do you have any like of his projects that you've seen that are your favorite? That timber frame, that was nuts.
You know what? I've looked at all of them and I haven't looked at all of them. I've looked at, 10, 12 of them. And they're all interesting, right? I like that they're not the same. I like, some have slides and some are 2 stories and some are like, they all have their own element of neat features, right? So
yeah.
I don't have a favorite. My favorite is that you can phone the guy. That's my favorite.
That's your favorite.
Right?
We got a bunch of people joining.
Now everybody's in.
It's over.
Okay. Don't want to talk to that. That was too funny. We're at 7. I didn't see any other questions in there.
Yeah, there were a few, but I think Jason kind of answered them. There was one about what's it like building a deck on the water,
Right.
or a dock on the water. Right?
Sounds challenging.
Sounds very challenging, right?
From in a boat.
Yeah.
I don't know what's under here, and you have to do it from a boat.
Yeah, I wonder what kind of boats they use. I was going to ask that, but he was really into it.
It's tough on the phone calls because there's such a delay.
There's a slight, yeah.
Right?
Yeah. But just kind of had to let him go.
What do you do? Okay.
Well, next week.
So do we wrap this up now?
Wrap it up. Just let everybody know next week we're going to do another live before Christmas.
Okay. What day do you think we're going to do that?
Tuesday? You good with that?
Sure.
We're deciding now.
It's going to be you and I,
It's
right?
me and you. It's the Bryce and Wade show.
All week. Okay.
All week.
So let's talk about that off the air.
Okay.
We'll get it lined up and then we'll post it a couple days in advance.
Okay, sounds good.
And so I'm going to try this. I'll push that button. I believe we got to wait till it's like 30-second mark.
Yeah. So that was a good show though.
Yeah, I didn't have all of the questions built that I wanted, but
And he was busy. His son's wedding.
How good is that, right? It's my son's wedding this afternoon. I'll step out. So that's it.
Till next week.
Till next week. Thanks for following.
Hey, thank you for listening to the Ultimate Deck Podcast. Now you know what we're about. Check the site, come and shop. UltimateDeckShop.com. Hit us right away for sponsorships or tell us if you want to collaborate. Let's go. Check us out on any social networks. Thank you for listening.